If there's one more gift I'd ask of you, Lord, it would be peace here on earth.
In today's Gospel reading, we have the story of the Transfiguration of Jesus on the mountain. Luke explains that just before the Transfiguration, Peter, in the name of his fellow disciples, had made the dramatic announcement that Jesus, their teacher, was the Messiah, the Christ, the Savior, King, expected by Israel. Having confirmed Peter's mission as the rock and foundation upon which he would build his church, Jesus begins to instruct them about what it will mean to be companions of the Messiah. The Messiah, their Jesus, should become a hunted figure, hunted not by foreigners, but by the rulers of his own people. Now to strengthen them in their faith, Jesus takes Peter, John, and James up on a mountain, Mount Tabor in Galilee. Jesus certainly could have taken with him the 12 apostles and invited them all to contemplate his glory in the mystery of his transfiguration. But he did not do so, for he wanted to give us a sign that of divine election, what the mystery of transfiguration realizes in Jesus is the glorification of human nature, elevated by God to the most profound intimacy and limitless charity with divine nature itself. Jesus, man, is truly transfigured. The glory of divinity is reflected in a dazzling way on his face, on his entire being. Now we might be bothered asking ourselves why it is still significant to start our transfiguration on the second Sunday of Lent, whereas we have very specific feasts already on August 6th on the mystery of Transfiguration. Now the reason is the event has something to do with Jesus' passion, death, and resurrection that we call the Paschal Mystery. The whole event is the blueprint of the history of salvation. It is all about God in Jesus, you and me. The story of God and our own story. The happening is the whole Bible story with Moses and Elijah, symbolizing the law and the prophets, respectively. With them is Jesus, who is the fulfillment of the law and the prophets. Jesus is the culmination of the prophecies of all. As we now enter into the second week of Lent, our task is to continue to examine our hearts and change ourselves in order to be worthy of His glorious Paschal mystery. We are called to continue to examine our hearts and to repent in order to prepare ourselves for the glorious resurrection of Christ. God tells us that our thoughts are not like His thoughts, and our ways are not akin to those of His ways. As human beings, we don't like change, and we resist any change as much as we can. However, change is a part of our life, and we cannot just depend on our past glory and achievements. We know that we are pilgrims on a journey to a more permanent dwelling place, a place of total union with our God, of truth and love. The readings of today invite us to reflect on the paradox of our Christian faith, that we belong here and we do not belong there. It is in this world and through this world that we are to find our God. That is the goal of living, and we need to keep it constantly before our eyes. Whatever we do on earth has its consequence in our life to come. When we are expected to be fully involved in our life, then contributing to the fulfillment of the kingdom, we are reminded that our final citizenship is in heaven. The three disciples stand for the New Testament, with Peter for faith, James for hope, and John for love and charity. Faith, hope, and love are the three theological virtues that Christians who are followers of Jesus live for modern times until the end of time. Now, brothers and sisters, Transfiguration event is the whole Bible. The story does not end in the glorious manifestation of Jesus that makes Peter exclaim, "Master, it is good that you are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." Jesus' glory is revealed only when we obey the voice of the Father, who tells us through the 3 disciples, "This is my chosen Son. Listen to him." Listening is living out the proclamation of Jesus. Listening is putting into life the teachings of our Lord and Master. Brothers and sisters, the Transfiguration is not only an extraordinary revelation of Jesus, but it is the manifestation of the Lord in the ordinary. Overwhelmed with the vision and the words of the Father, the disciples fall unconscious until Jesus touches them and wakes them to the other aspect of Transfiguration, the ordinary. Living the life of Jesus is not in the magical and spectacular. It is the transformation of the ordinary way of life to the life of love. Peter wants to stay on the Mount of Glory, but Jesus pulls him on. They must go down and climb another mountain, Mount Calvary. Jesus' suffering is the only way to attain what they have experienced on Mount Tabor. It requires rising. We have fallen. Our suffering is our glory. Jesus tells us not to be afraid of pain and sacrifice. By his cross, Jesus is conquered sin and death. By your own cross, we bring glory to our mortal flesh. The story does not end with the cross. It opens to resurrection. We fall and rise until we never fall again. The Transfiguration mystery of Jesus defies all explanations. It is what we generally term a mystery. It is an encounter with the divine that is briefly experienced in the context of earth. The transformation or transfiguration of Jesus that the disciples experienced was not simply something they were to see and experience as happening to him alone. It was also an invitation for them to undergo a transformation and transfiguration of their life. By listening to Jesus, listening to all that He invites us to be and to do. However much it may seem to go against the conventions we are brought upon, it means especially listening to those words of Jesus. It means having total trust in walking His way. It means a total trust on His way that brings us into full union with God, the source of all truth, love, happiness, and peace.